Let's pop that up there and that down there. See whether anyone pops along. Hello. Let me bring this mic in a bit. Try and bring that in a little bit. Right, I'm still in the process of just setting up a section. I need to find the chat bit. Excellent. And then I want the pop-out chat. Come on, where's the... All right, got that. So I think I can shut that one. I think I can shut that one. No, I've just got to post this up. This is normally... Yes, I am. If oh, I've lost the oh, there it is. Post. Right. There we go. That'll have to do for tonight. I can shut that one down, and I can shut that link down there. Right. Okay. And then I just need to bring you guys back. So here we are. Hello. Welcome back. Wednesday rolls around once again. And I didn't have, you know, I had massive plans for tonight earlier in the day. So I can't do them now for many reasons, but I'd done a whole section. We were going to, tonight, I was going to show everyone how I paint miniature figureheads. And I thought I'll do it during the day, and that way I can leave out the drying times, and we can, then I can run it as a video for a half hour in tonight's show. That was the plan. I couldn't quite finish the video because, you know, because of the paint drying times and this and that. But apart from anything else, it was an hour and 20 minutes, and it just didn't seem practical. And then add to that, it's still rendering because the first render I'd done was I'd got it set up wrongly, so I've had to render it again. So unfortunately, that's gone out the window. But so we've just got really a quiet build night tonight, and I'll show you what I'm going to be building in a second. Nothing much happened this week at all, not that I'm aware of, not in the modelling community anyway. No, got no rants, got no qualms or issues with anything. So it's been it's been a quiet week, really. So let me just quickly head on over to the chat to make sure that that is working properly. So let me minimize that just a second, so I can minimize that, and then I can bring that one back and just slide that over a bit, if it will let me. There we go. Ah, Bob. Hello, Bob. Anza's gone to bed. She's not been very well the past couple of days. She's got, I believe it's like, I think it's like a bursitis, I think it's called. I get it quite a lot in my elbow and shoulder, and I've had it in the, I think I've had it a bit lower down as well in the wrist. But anyway, she's got that. Very painful, I know, because I get it. And she's been on a lot of medication, so she's a bit wiped out. So she's gone to bed early. So I'm on my lonesome tonight. So I have to keep an eye on the chat. So we all know how that's going to go. Hello, David. David Price is back with us. And Rob says hello. And Bob says good evening, which I've already covered. Right. So, things I've bought this week. Well, I technically haven't bought them this week. I've bought them over the last few weeks, but I just haven't got round to showing them. Basically, I finally got hold of a riveter. Now, I couldn't afford the Rosie riveter, nice as they are, and I do believe they're probably the best ones for the job. But I got one of these. Now, I'm a bit confused because, as I understand it, I'm not sure whether it's this one exactly, but some people have said this one isn't very good, right? See that? Okay. Now, Revel have just brought out one, which, from what I can tell, looks the same as this. I've only had a brief glance at it, but it looks the same setup as this. Comes with the additional bits that you put on, right? But the thing is, the Revel one they're saying is great, but it looks like it's the same design and everything, only the badge is different. So I'm a bit confused over that. But I will give it a go. Because I always end up buying stuff that everyone says not to buy for some reason, mostly by accident. I don't actively go out to look for shit. So I'm going to give that a go. I've never done any riveting at all, but then I've never done any, it's all new. So I will probably end up doing a live video of my first riveting session. Everyone will be able to have a laugh then, and we'll see whether I can make some wonky lines on we'll practice on an old jet or something first, just to see how it goes. They make it look so easy. It looks a nice bit of kit, so I got that. I don't think I paid much for that. Might have been less than a £5. Can't remember. Honestly, can't remember. We'll have bought that through Mike Jolly. I'm pretty certain. And then I got one of these finally. I've been after one of these for ages, but never got round to getting one. And I like seeing when people have finished their kits, they put them on here and they turn it on, and then they just do a video with it, revolving round and round. I think that's great. And I'm looking forward to. Actually, let's open it up and have a look. Let's have a look what's inside. Obviously, we know what's inside because there's a picture of it on the front of the box. But let's put them pieces to one side. For personal display. So no messing about with protective packaging or anything. What do you need that for? Oh. And has that got a protective, you know, a thing on it, a film on it? I hope so, because otherwise that's a really bad. If that hasn't got a protective plate on it, then that is a really poor quality mirror on there. Surely that must have. Has anyone bought one of these before? Oh, yeah, it has. Yeah. Yes, indeed, it has. Right, now saying that, I'm not going to pull that one off. I'm going to leave that on till I have to. So we've got high speed, low speed. Oh, forgot to put the camera down again. There we go. So it's got a protective film on, look, because it looked really scraggly. And we've got high speed, low speed, and off. We AAAs. Okay. We need. For once, I am prepared. Oh, would you believe it? Got the screwdriver. It's the wrong size. It's all right. We'll use the other side. Ah, I haven't got them size batteries. I really thought it was going to be AA's. Right, so I need to get some of them tomorrow. Size C. But you get the idea. It sort of sits there and it goes bzzz, like that. There we go. So that was what I've bought. That incidentally was £7.99. I think £7.99. Not bad. Right, so we'll move straight on to what I've been doing. So the first thing I'm going to cover this week is the Airfix. Because as you know, I did manage to get one session in with the Airfix this week. And we reached the point where I did actually come away and prime. We reached the point where we'd glued the guns on. So after that, I came and I primed the wing inside and out. And you can see we've got the guns. Fingers wet. We've got the guns glued in there. Here and here. Here and here. So what's left to do now on that is we've got to I've also cut out this square here, which has to be cut out. I thought I'd just do that. This needs painting green, same as the cockpit, and then these guns have all got to be painted in gunmetal. So it will just be a blanket green spray. I'm not going to mask all this off, and then I will hand paint the guns with the appropriate gunmetal, or just thinking, because I've got some good gunmetal spray, I could make a piece of card just to slide either side, like a piece of card with a T shape, maybe. Well, if I'm very careful, if I get the other airbrush out, not the Apex, the memory's completely left me behind tonight. Anyway, I've got one that's better at fine lines and stuff, so I could use that. Might not be so good on these, so maybe I might be better spraying these first. I don't know. I have to have a think on that. But that's what's got to be done with that. We've already checked it against the fuselage, and it does seem to be a damn good fit. I know there were a lot of naysayers out there, but so far I can't complain. Let's I'm just trying to think where that's. There we go. We've got a nice fit. We're gonna need, let's see, we're probably gonna need a little bit of filler at the front, maybe. Just, I mean, we're talking a tiny bit there. Look, a little bit of filler, and we come to the back. Everything's looking good along the side. And then we come to the back. We're going to have to probably a little bit of fettling at the back, a little bit of filler. Nothing, not a great deal, really not a great deal. Once it's all in, most impressive at the moment. It's looking pretty good. That's quite a big plane. 1/24th. That's going to be quite impressive. But that's where the Airfix is at. The Airfix Spitfire Mark 5B. We finally managed to get some reviews done during the, I think, was it this week? We reviewed the Dassault Rafale C, which is the little French jet with the Arctic Tiger pattern on. We also managed to review that beast of a kit, the Zvezda, or was it Hella? Zvezda. No, it was Hella, and it was the AWACS. That kit is massive. And I was asked whether I'd do that as the next, well, as a video build. I can't remember who asked, but yes, I'm going to do that as the next video build after the Airfix. So whoever asked that, I hope that's agreeable with you. It's not mechanical. I don't follow. Just the turntable, yeah. Yeah, it would just be a motor, won't it, with some cogs on it. Little cogs, yeah. I just like them. I think they look nice when you put them in. Because I'm answering Rob, who's saying, for those that can't see, Did you just say you were prepared? Did I say I was prepared? I don't know. I don't know if I did or not. Sorry, I don't know if I said that or not. Can't see the point of these. Got one for £5 from the supermarket, albeit it's not a mechanical one, just a turntable. Oh, right, I see what you mean. Rob's bought one. It's just a turntable. I've got one just behind it. It's a black one, about that big. No, on their own, no, I don't suppose there is a lot of point in them, unless you're using them in a spray booth. As a turntable one, though, I can put it in a little light tent, and I can turn it on and let it spin round and do its thing. And I just think it looks nice. So there we go. That's that. Anyway, on to what I've been doing. So I've been working on the and what I'm going to be working on tonight. Been working on this figure here that I was kindly sent, and it's been really enjoyable, actually. So unfortunately this week, let's start with what went wrong initially. I'd done everything. I'd got everything ready to glue it together, and then I decided to do a little touch up on the head. It went completely wrong, and as a result I ended up having to put the head in some leveling thinner and removed all the paint, everything off it, and start again. You know, I really got to learn to leave things alone. So I've done it all again now. As I said earlier, we've done it today. So this is where I'm at the moment. And I'm quite happy with it, I must say. Haven't done the hair. I'm going to do that tonight. But everything else is painted. It's spray painted, the skin. The eyes have been done by hand, and the lips have been done by hand. I'm happy with them. I know they're not great, but they're good for me. They're better than what I've been doing. And I actually had some decals, a set of eye decals, which I tried using twice and couldn't get on with. So these have actually, I've gone back to just using paints for this. So I am quite happy with that, and I've got smooth skin on there. Very pleased. So yeah, so that's where that's at. I've got to maybe put a cover on that tonight, like a top coat, just to protect it. I'm a bit concerned that the minute I try and do the outline for the eyelashes, that's when it's all going to go wrong. That's when I'm going to end up making a real mess of things. So do I just leave it as it is, or do I try and make that final step and get that thin black line around the eyelashes? It would certainly make a vast improvement, but there's a very, very big possibility that I will screw it up and have to then strip it down again. So I'm not sure whether I'm willing to take that risk again. I've already done it sort of 3 times. But we'll see. So that was done today. And pop that to one side. Now then, when I tried to make a small adjustment to the figure before, the head was on the figure, and the skin there was you could, it was very chalky, the skin, and it, as a result, it wasn't very smooth. It was very rough, and very rough in appearance. So I decided I was going to sand it down, and I decided to use a little bit of water to try and help the process. But while I was sanding it down, a load of the water got on the lower body of the figure, on the coat, down the trousers, and made a mess. And as a result, I've ended up having to redo a lot of the work I'd already done. Not to the same degree as that. I didn't have to strip it all down. I just sort of resprayed the coat in various areas, resprayed the trousers, redone the boots and the leather work. And so that's where we're at with the figure. She's more or less done, with the exception of I've got to go around and redo the buttons, because some of them where I've resprayed over the jacket have basically need redoing. And what else was needed doing? This white lanyard she's got around here, I need to figure out the best way of doing that. But if I can just hold that so you can see if we can get a good look at that. It doesn't really want to play ball. And obviously I've got to somehow try and get a solid black line around the two guns that are on her lower arm there in gold. Not exactly sure how. I'm quite impressed with the leather work. That's a mixture of inks and acrylic, as is the leather gloves and the leather belts. They're all inks. What's that there? That white. That's not come off, has it? No, that's that's a tiny piece of yellow paint. I don't know how that's got there, but that will need to be rectified. So the plan tonight was to basically get her the bits on her utility belt, maybe get her head glued on. Hat is knocking around somewhere. Not sure where I've put that, but it is knocking around. It will need to be found. Oh, I don't know where I've put that. And yeah, so that's them two. Also tonight, I want to look at just figure out what I've. No, I did have that hat round here. Oh well. I've worked on the base. Obviously, I've got to tidy it round here, just where I've used a textured earth on there. And this is where she's going to be standing. Now, I was going to use different tones of this flock. So there's different, a bit of tonal range in here. But I got this far, and then I decided that I actually need to clear some of this off so that I can stick both her and the dog in, and then proceed to put the flock in around her feet. So that was initially going to be done tonight, but now obviously she needs gluing down first, so that'll have to wait. And then finally, I done the dog, and I'm very pleased with how the dog came out. As anyone that watched, was it last week or the week before, I had a horrible seam lines here and here, and going up the back, and I managed to get rid of them. I used Mr. Surfacer 500 and basically painted that on the seams at the back, and then came down with a bristly type brush, like a stipple brush, and made some furry patterns. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, and I'm really pleased with how that's come out. So initially I'd done a black pattern. I didn't follow this at all. Initially, the plan was to try and do the dog the same as this, but I didn't follow that, and oddly enough, I'd done my own thing. I ended up putting that to one side, but I think I've still ended up with something fairly similar. Now the nose is a little bit too brown, so that needs just making a little bit darker, because they are sort of a dark, very, very dark brown stroke black, the noses on some dogs. And again, I used ink for that, and I'm really pleased with the eyes. Again, that was done by hand, no decals or anything. And the face was basically, this was all, if I remember correctly, this was Vallejo black, and on a base cover of UMP white, the primer. And then I came along with a buff color next, and I done patchy areas around the front and down the legs and a bit along the edges. And then I came over the top of that with a light grey color, and I started to blend in the white and the black, and all along the hard edges. So I didn't want any hard edges at all. And then I finished it off. I put a little flesh color in the ear and a tiny tip of white fringe around the edge. The nose was the last thing to get done. It does need going over. The nose needs going over again, and the collar needs doing on the dog. So that's something I'm going to be looking at doing tonight. But I'm very pleased with how the dogs came out. So we're ready to get underway, really. And I should just be building. Tonight, have you got any... Go for it. He who dares. There's an old Dale boy saying, he who dares, Rodney, he who dares. Right, so let's get... where did I put... This is where I start losing everything. So we've got... got some sort of lead there as well. And two shoulder pads. No, well, not shoulder pads. They're them things that they go on our shoulders. So we'll get them on tonight as well. So we're going to need lid out, some super glue. Chucked all the lids at the bottom of a drawer in there. Every time I want them, I've got to go lifting tons of stuff out the way. Unless I've used them all. Wouldn't have thought so. Right, I can only grab hold of two for now. That'll have to do. So let's have. Do we want a glue gel? This done quite well last time, this grip. It's a real cheap one as well. It's thick though. We use my patented crap-on glue applicator. Yeah, next year we'll be millionaires. And I'm keenly watching. Ian Sinclair, who's just come back from Russia. He was telling me about it the other night in the hangout. If ever you get the chance, you should have a chat with him about it. It's really quite interesting. I hope I haven't put that on too thick there. That's the only problem. I'll get a little bit on this side. And I do believe we'll pop a bit on the end there. Be careful now, I don't want to get this. I should probably use tweezers now. Oh. There we go. I just need to get need to get a little bit under the button there, but the trouble is I don't think. Maybe I have done it. Maybe I want to get in without damaging the paint. Make sure I've got it in the right spot on each side. There we go. So that's a shoulder, I don't know what they called, lapels. They're on there. We've got to go over, there's a gold, I think there's some gold writing on the, if it will focus. Not at the moment, but it's there. It is there. It's writing. I'm probably going to have to try and dry brush that. So now we want to put her utility bits and bobs on. Let's move her head out of the way. Trigger's broom, yeah. Oh man, yeah, he's had the same broom since he started the job. Only had 8 new handles and 12 new heads, something like that. Trigger's amazing. Have any of you watched like the Spanish version of Only Fools and Horses or the Italian version? Because they've got Only Fools and Horses in every country, but they've got their own sort of actors doing it, and it's just not the same. It just looks really odd how the different countries have interpreted Del Boy. None of them have got a patch on ours, obviously, but then they might say the same about theirs. No, Ian, this is the ICM kit. Now then, what happened to the destruction? Need to know where these bits go. So the gun goes around that side there. Oh, it would be. Should have put the bloody arm on first. Right, I can't put the gun on yet because of that lanyard. That lanyard needs painting before that can go on. which also means it's got to wait for that as well. I can't put that on either. And we do seem to be a piece missing. Shock horror. It's a regular event on this live stream. Piece is missing. Because I've got multiple kits on the go. I've got a letter from Revel this morning. They're sending me out a new part. You know, I reckon if I could give a top tip to anyone in this hobby, it would be, in some respects, don't listen to people's opinions, because without wishing to offend anyone, I was told, if I can just bring it up, I was told that kit up there was rubbish. That Phantom sat up there, I was told that's rubbish. That's a brilliant kit. It's gone together really well. Really loved in building it, and it looks really nice as well. You know, I was also told that the Airfix kit I'm building at the moment would not be buildable. I was told if I did build it, it would be rubbish. But it's coming together. Obviously, it's not built yet, so there's still that possibility that it could be rubbish. I was told many things. I was also told, I've said to somebody that I was going to write to Revel. I wanted a new part for a kit they do. I was told, don't write to Revel. They won't. You won't get that part or something along those lines. Well, they've wrote back this morning and they're sending me the part on. They've just wrote to let me know it's going to be a delay of a couple of weeks. And it's just peppered. Everywhere's peppered with people saying one thing, but then when you go and ask the company or themselves, they do completely the opposite. So don't let people tell you can't do something, is what I'm saying. And, you know, if you want something from a company, you need a spare part or, I don't know, whatever, and everyone tells you, no, they won't give you it. Don't just give up and think, oh, well, everybody says they're not going to give me it, so I won't bother asking. You've got nothing to lose. If you ask, what's the worst they can say? No. So that would be a tip. Obviously, I'm not saying ignore everyone's advice, because that would be a bad thing, especially when you're asking for help. If you're asking for help, then, you know, listen to what you're told, and always double check it. And you know, that was just I digressed there a minute, but right now I'm just gonna. I need to clear space enough for her. I'm not sure how to do it. I don't really want the dog and her turning in like that, because the dog would be to the side. So I think he would be there and she would be more like that. Yeah. So we're sort of looking like that. Excellent. Right. So now I need a stipple brush, and so we're looking at clearing that area there. and that area there. Right, let's see if I can do this without making a huge mess. Move the fan away a little bit. That would help. I can always come back and fill this in. There we go. Let's just move this. Now then, if I glue her on there, is that going to be a problem for me? Or am I better if she's glued on there? Will it make it easier to handle, I wonder? Could do. Make it easier for her to stand. So let's put her on with some super glue. So where did we say? We said about there, didn't we? Just in front of that pencil line. Good job I wrote that in. And we want a face in. Mind you, you would really have a face in front like that. Let me just... That makes more sense, really. Yeah. Okay. She does stand under her own. She stands remarkably well. There's no problem at all. She doesn't topple over. It's been weighted perfectly. Highly rate these ICM kits. I really think that they are an incredible new... I don't know how long they've been out, to be honest, ICM. But... so we're just putting this on just where the... So I'll just answer them questions in a second. Let me just... I'm just going to pop that there to dry for a second while I answer these questions. So, Dave's going on about faulty towers. Ian Sinclair reference, Only Fools and Horses is the similar situation to the American version of Dad's Army, which was named The Rear Guard, and I believe lasted for only one episode. Dad's Army classic. Yeah, the Americans totally different sense of humor. Yeah, I don't think that they get our sense of humor at times. But Dad's Army, oh man, I love that. I love that program. I still watch it even now on the sort of gold and things like that. And Dad's Army, the new film, was actually on the TV. I think, was it Bank Holiday Monday? I've recorded it to watch, and I'm looking forward to watching that. Oh, right, yeah, Rob wants to look at the Phantom. Okay, I'll show you the Phantom in a minute, Rob. It isn't finished yet. There's still the cockpit to finish on it and the nose cone, but I'll show you where it's up to. If I can just get these out of the way first. And I couldn't imagine an American version. Some things just don't travel across the big pond. No, they don't. They don't. What's the size of the dog? Looks huge. It's 1/16. It's a wolf, though. Not a wolf. A husky, sorry. It's a husky. At least I think it's meant to be a husky. Where's that picture gone? Yeah, it's a husky. It's a husky. They are big dogs. And let's face it, if she's... Oh, fucking hell, it is big, isn't it? Maybe she's small. Maybe she's only 5'4". Let me have a look at that photo. I hadn't noticed that, you know. No, it's right. It's just the top of her ear is just in level with the belt of her jacket. I can't. But it's been a long time since we've got Yorkies, so it's been a long time since I've had a small dog, big dog, and I can't remember. I mean, I know you can get some really huge dogs. Irish wolfhounds and things like that truly are massive. They're more like donkeys. So now we're going to... we had another question, didn't I? So... and Ian Sinclair's asking, what are you using to put the super glue in place? Well, this is what I've collectively termed crap on. This is part of my crap on series of tools, and as you can see, it says there, so it's got to be true. And it's basically a sewing needle, and it's had the end chopped off where you put the thread through, where you thread the eye of the needle. Just chop the end off that so that you're left with two prongs, and then you can just stick them two prongs in your super glue and it will draw it up between the two prongs. And I have one set up with, let me just burn the end off that so you can see. So I have one set up right at the very base, so that it's just like that. So that it can only draw up a very small amount of glue. And then I have another setup with longer prongs on, so it's cut further back, and that can draw up a bit more. And you can also widen them, splay them a bit, so that it can draw up a bigger quantity as well. But to be honest, this works better than that, having the small amount like that. You don't really need it so much with gel. It doesn't work so good with gel. I could easily do this with a toothpick, but when it comes to liquid, liquid glue, like thin super glue, it's perfect for dropping into seam lines. And see, I'm trying not to breathe in the fumes off this. I'd just like to point out as well that this dog is extremely well endowed. They've even gone as far as to get the modeling right on that. Incredible. All right, we're going to need a bit more, I think. That's probably because I didn't clear off all the... All right, let's just... This gel can take a while to set, so we'll just leave that to one side. And then when you're finished, because you've got a load of glue all over it, you just come along with a standard lighter, light the end and just burn it off. Obviously do that away from anything flammable. And remember, the needle will be very hot after you've burnt off the glue, so just leave it to one side to cool. Right, let me just pop that up there for a minute. Put that to one side. Let me just clean off some of this dust, and I will get the Phantom down for Rob to have a look. Actually, I think, Rob, the reason you've not seen any of the pictures of the Phantom done is because there haven't been any taken yet. I'm waiting to finish it once I've got the cockpit sorted, because I had an incident with some glass breaking on it and I had to get it replaced twice. I got some canopies sent to me from Bob, and also Tim, I can't remember your name. I'm so sorry if you're watching. I would have to go and have a look, but he sent me 2 sets of canopies as well. So I've got them masked up. Even as we speak, they're sat masked up in my little odds and ends. Focusing both sides so they can't get scratched, and that one as well, and the middle, and they're just waiting to be sprayed, and then they can go on, and the front nose cone needs spraying as well, and then that is done, and then I can start getting the photos. But anyway, I'm gonna have to Alright, you'll have to excuse the cotton that I've got holding it in place. Let me just try and move that out of the way. I haven't got a lot of space here, but so oh dear. Okay, wheels come off. So this has turned into a repair now. Let's fix that wheel. Oh, very dusty underneath. Don't need that. Let me just, I don't want to brush it all over me desk. Oh, darn it. I'm going to be very careful. And just bear with me a second. So I'll just show you underneath while all the decaling's been done. Let me just gently lower that down. I notice a couple of things that need doing to this before it will be finished. We've got a radar dish missing off the front. We've got some sort of flap missing from over here, which I'll put that back on in a minute. Okay. All right, I see what's happened there. Right, let's get a bit of glue on there. Right. And then we just need that. Slightly forward a bit. Now we've got we've got, it looks like two. I'm just trying to see here. No. I can't actually remember which way this goes now, or where this goes for that matter. I'm assuming it is off the bottom. Let me just... But you can see all the decal work that's been done underneath. These are all decals, not paint splotches. Just come along. Got to be so gentle with this brush. I'm quite pleased with the work that I'd done on the back, the rear sort of staining and exhaust area. And then we come down to the front section. Initially, I'd done loads of, I'd detail painted all that, but I wasn't happy with it. So I decided to just leave it white. And then if we turn it over and we come to the top section. So I was quite pleased with the finish I got. I noticed now there's also the top fins disappeared somewhere. That's a bit of a disappointment. I will get that found. It's quite a big piece, so I don't know where that's gone. But that's the rear fin. I was quite pleased with that. Got 50 on one side, 35 on the other, with the German flag. And all these phantoms, these are all individual along here. They're individual decals, and then this is one broad decal there. And we've got a couple of flat spots there. I might I'm not going to go over it again. And then we've got the decals on the wings. Swinging round. We've got the decaling on the front. The intakes on both sides. Let me just bring that up a bit, and then you might see, I don't know if you'll see the fan down there, but it is there. There is a radar dish missing off the front, and I added some wires as well, and I think the red wire has come away, so that needs redoing. This was all, this has just been sat on the wall, believe it or not. Just been hanging on the wall, and all this damage has come from, I don't know. I really don't know how it's ended up like this. But anyway, and then we've got the my favourite part, the cockpit. If you can see that front cockpit there. And obviously these are going to be set open. And we've got a couple of areas for some reason. I'm going to show you. I shouldn't always tell people don't point out any faults, but I'm going to, because this is not my fault. This flat, this here, I've noticed this in a couple of areas on the model. This where the gloss is just, oh dear, oh dear. Another another repair. It's okay. It's okay. We can. Let me just see where that goes. Right. Okay. If I do it straight away, it won't get left, because that's what happens. People. And then I'm probably going to need. This is where the. This is where the tool that I had earlier comes in handy. So I'm just going to. And then just because I think it's going to require a little bit of help setting. I'm going to give it a blast with some rocket. There we go. And that's already set very well. So I've got to find out where they go. It doesn't appear to be a logical place for them, really. Too wide there. I mean, I suppose it could go there. No, because that's too big. Too narrow there. So no, I'm at a loss where that goes. It's come off somewhere, but I'm not sure where. So I'll have to look into that. So there you go. Just having a look. So I'm just catching up with the chat. Good night to Bobington Dave Price says, and then Rob's talking about the Phantom. It's got a spare top fin. That would be great. That would be great if I can't find the one for this. Yeah, that would be brilliant, Rob. I'll let you know, but it should be around here somewhere. I'm really at a loss as to how this has got so badly damaged, just hanging on a wall. Especially the radar dish at the front. I've got the nose cone. I know where that is. Anyway, there you go, Rob. But at this rate, I'm not going to be able to take any photos of it because next time I take it down, it's going to all fall apart on me. Let me just pop it back up. Ow! Let me just hang this back up. I'll have to check the floor underneath where it normally stays. But no, my normal little spots for it. It's not there. They're not there. They're parts for the Polycarpov. Now I do have, actually I have got a Phantom little box with the bits and pieces in for it. The ladder and so forth. So let's just have a look in here. So that's the ladder. These are all the little bits and pieces that have got to go on the, there's the front nose cone. Ah, so there's the other piece for the other side. Or did I just put that in there? No, there we go. There's the other side. And then got a couple of other, yeah. So there's a few bits left to go on. Let me put the canopies in there so that they don't get any more damage than, they're masked up all over, so they're not going to get scratched. Let's put them in there. That's off the polycarp off. And then the ladder, which has got to be built. So the top fin's not in there. And that brings us really up to 9:30. Inner wing door. Okay, I'll check it out on the instructions, Rob. Sorry. What have we got here? That belongs with that. Right. So let me put that away. I will have a look round for the fin. I'm not going to do it while I'm on the live stream because that's just rude. Let me just have a quick drink. Let's see how this has settled. Yeah. Very good. So there we go. That's my effort for the night. I haven't really done much, to be honest. But it's more about chatting with you guys, and then I'm just going to come in and add a bit of grass around her feet. Obviously stick her head on and her hat. She needs her hat because without her hat she's got no brain. She literally has no top of her head. And I've got so much stuff lying around. That's the trouble. I try and keep on top of everything, try and keep it tidy, but inevitably I end up losing stuff because I leave stuff lying around. I only got myself to blame. And we've got there's the old canopy for the Phantom, and you can see that I actually spilt super glue on it, and I've tried really hard to polish it out, but it's not coming out. You can see I more or less got it sort of so that it, well, that's the best I could do, and that was like days of polishing. The underside's okay, you can tell, but the top side, no. So that was that, and then I think, unless I'm mistaken, did another part of it crack, but that part was okay. But I thought I may as well redo the whole lot. And yeah, I weren't too happy with that bit either. I don't know what happened there. I think when I started, I was going to hand paint the canopy, and I literally done that top bit, and it looked awful. And that's when I decided to spray it, I think, if I remember rightly. So, with that said, so thanks for tuning in and watching. Much appreciated. You finally can catch you live. Why couldn't you see me before? Rob's saying, I bet you wished you never took it down now. Did I say, while I was gluing it back together, was I thinking to myself, thanks, Rob, or not? Of course I wasn't. I wouldn't, not like that. No, it had to come down anyway. Had to come down anyway because it needs finishing off. So you know, don't worry about that, Rob. It would have if it hadn't have come apart, then it would have come apart the next time I took it down. So. Catch you now. How are you? And Angela, I'm fine. Angela's not very well. She's had a bursitis. I think it's bursitis. It's an inflammation in the joints, which is extremely painful. I get it about once or twice a year if I'm unlucky. And anyone that's had it will tell you how extremely painful it is. You are literally unable to move. It affects one limb. So, you know, it's either your shoulder or your upper arm or your elbow or your lower arm. It's like that. But the slightest movement anywhere else causes extreme pain in the joint, because obviously the minute you move to stand up, you involuntarily move your arm or whatever, and it causes this horrible pain. And it's one of the worst pains I've experienced. So I don't know, I've probably experienced far worse. It's just my memory's blanking it out. Yeah, so she's getting over that now, but she's taken a load of meds in the last sort of 24 hours, and she's trying to get rid of it out of her system. But I shall let her know you said hello, Lynn. I'm Frankie B. Hi all. Hope your week is going well. Yeah, fine. Thanks, Frankie. Hope she feels better soon. Yeah. Hopefully she will. Hopefully tomorrow will be a lot better. It comes on really quick. Literally, you've not got it like 9 o'clock in the morning, and then by 11 you're debilitated. But then it goes just as quick. You can be in agony 1 second, and 3 hours later it's eased off considerably, and then the following day it's gone. I have no clue what it is. It's bizarre. Right. Anyway, so that's that done. I don't know how long you've been in, Lynn, but we're sort of coming to a close now. Winding down. Should have a record player and play some tunes. And like a proper modelling radio station. Now that would be a cool idea. Just you know, just a station that plays, I don't know, you know, you could have a range of tunes on that people can model to, and all the news and everything would be related specifically to modelling. And you know, that's quite a good idea. I quite like that idea, but I don't know what is involved in getting a radio station running. That's a big thing. Although I once thought of doing a podcast, and just, you know, for people that maybe don't have access to a whole computer setup, maybe a podcast they could just download on their phone or something like that. I thought that'd be a good idea, something to listen to in the car. It was an idea I had a short time ago, but I was told it was a bit of a silly idea. So here we go. Anyway, that's my mounted policewoman, almost, and her dog. We should give the dog a name. let's call it Twinkle. Oh no, it's a male dog, so let's call it Twinkle. It's Twinkle the dog. He looks a friendly dog. She doesn't look that friendly. She's got no head. Obviously, you can't look friendly when you've got no head. Well, she has, but it's on a spike. We could put that in there, and that would just look plain weird then. A head on a spike, impaled, with no top. It actually looks like she's got a bit of brain going on there, doesn't it? With the blue tack sticking out the back. Bit of an Aliens type moment. What was that film where Hannibal Lecter, he cut the top of the guy's head off? Silence of the Lambs, was it one of her bosses? Come on, focus in for me. People are not going to believe me now. There we go. Yeah, you could put a few, you can turn that into a brain. Right, there we go. You can tell I haven't been in any hangouts for a while. I'm talking utter shit. Right, so once again, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've had a laugh. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. Don't forget, we've still got the Russian group build. Anything Russian, chance to win a pair of Display single blade sprue cutters. I haven't been to have a look, but I don't think as many, if any, people have entered into the. You need to put a picture up in the album to say what you're building and just prove that you know it's a new kit and everything. And I don't know whether there's any entries at all in. I'm going to say I'm not going to give away the Display sprue cutters if there's not enough people to warrant it. They cost me a lot of money, and you know I need to get to a decent, you know, about 10 people to get this going to make it worthwhile. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully there's going to be more people join. I haven't had a look for a while, so they may already be 10 now. I may be worrying over nothing, but we'll see. Anyway, once again, I'll see you all next week. So bye for now.